Good afternoon and welcome with Talk with Paula. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Paula Van Gilder, and as everybody knows, I am a huge advocate for mental health and addiction. Today I'm bringing to a topic that right now is a very appropriate seasonal affective disorder. Many people refer to it as SAD, climate change. I call it the what the F season. I myself suffer from this too. Reason being, they call it the lack of sunlight, shorter days, it gets gray, it gets dark, it's cold. So I actually was just meeting with a girlfriend of mine from Jasper Forest, and she's gonna be coming on as well. Probably she's hoping, doing once a month to kind of give you some ideas how you can do some self-care. She does own Jasper Forest in town, but her and I just were sitting together because I can always feel what's happening with my body when the temps change, and you can tell, times are going to change. I believe that's the first Sunday of November, the time change. But I already feel it. I started feeling it probably, I want to say maybe a few weeks ago-ish. And I get really tired, really, really tired. And I'm not a fan of caffeine. When I have that or chocolate, it does not do well with my anxiety. It kind of kicks me into overdrive, and I'm not a fun person. So I have to resort to doing some really good self-care. So my self-care, what I do is, one, I reach out to Jen. I start journaling. I start being very well aware of what's going on. But the biggest thing too is making sure I sleep. Sleep is really important. And I'm not saying sleep so much, but sleep is really important. And getting outside, getting exercise. And I notice myself, I have to start watching what I eat. Because if I eat too many carbs, too much processed stuff, which I try to really veer away from, because I was just sharing with Patrick, I'm 58, I just had my labs, some stuff is elevated, and I'm like, you know what? I want to feel good. And feeling good is doing some really good self-care. And that's just a lifestyle change, diet, everything else. So that's what I'm doing. So, I wanted to know, obviously, what you do. What do people do? I have some things in mind. One of my friends reached out to me, which was kind of cool because she and I, I've shared with her how I was feeling. She shared with me and she goes, Paula, what about if we started a soup kitchen? Because there is a lot of us that struggle, and get funky, and have a real struggle during the cooler months when the weather, changes. So sorry about that, my phone. But I said, that's a great idea. So keep that in mind. We're going to actually be planning that, and I will be sharing that on a couple websites about the soup kitchen, when it's going to be. There will be no charge to anybody. As many know, I am very pro mental health and addiction, but everybody is welcome. And I just think it's going to be a fun place for all of us to gather and, have an outlet for all of us that are basically struggling with the same thing. And maybe we can share stuff, plan stuff, just have a really good outlet. So that's one goal. The other one, like I shared, I just met with my friend, and I just went to her shop in town, Jasper Forest, and she offers so many wonderful things, from Reiki, yoga, I apologize, my phone, magnifying healing, integrative nutrition, crystal alignment, chakra balancing. You actually walk into her shop, no matter what space you're in. And I can be honest with you, I don't know if you've ever gone into her shop. It's located in Ludlow, downtown Ludlow. But you actually feel positive energy right when you go in there. It's the smells, it's the surrounding. Jen has an amazing personality that it radiates right off her, which is awesome. And then the next thing that's going on, let's see, what was I going to say? Being real. That's the next thing I want to talk about. In the midst of being real, but discussing and not being afraid of talking about struggles. I find lately, like people will reach out to me, and I don't care who you are. Everybody struggles. And if you say you don't, I'm sorry, I can't, I'm going to say BS, because we all have stuff that we struggle through. Some people are better at it. Some people use social media. But social media, I'm finding, and don't get me wrong, but you can create a false image. And that's not always the healthiest thing either. I choose to be real. Sometimes me being real can freak people out, because I've been told numerous times I have a very large personality, not talking body frame, but I have a very large personality. And you can feel my energy around you. It was kind of cool. We just did we've done a couple events, but I also was in one event down in Rutland, and a woman walked by me and she went, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "What?" Thinking I had something hanging out. She goes, "You have the most amazing aura." And I was like, okay. And it's not the first time I've ever heard that. I did hear that from a woman. I don't know if anybody's familiar with her. Her name was Kathleen Johnson, and she used to be called the Mother of the Sky. She did astrology readings. She was part of a newspaper up in Rutland, the Mountain Times, I believe, at one time. And Mother of the Sky, I'm not sure if that was her. There was somebody else, but she said the same thing to me like years ago at a doctor's office. She walked by me and said, "Whoa." She goes, "Your aura." And I guess that's a gift. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about what I'm doing, because I'm real. Pros and cons, I'm real. But I want to help people. And I emphasize this all the time. I am not a clinician. I'm not a doctor, anything like that. I'm not a life coach, even though I've been told I should be. But I'm just real. I have gone through struggles. I am a survivor of abuse. I have battled many traumatizing things that a lot of people would probably take another alternative. I know what it's like to survive. I know what it's like to feel like shit. I know what it's like to want to curl up in a ball and cry. But I also know the flip side of that. I also know what it's like to fight. I know what it feels like to confront your abuser, to take back your power, and to live the best life you can. There's pros and cons to that. You know, a lot of times I feel what I do, I have a lot of friends, a lot of people that love me, but it's who I hold here. There's a difference. I'm very, how do I want to say this? Guarded who I allow here. But I want to be out there to help others, because I know when I told Patrick what I wanted to do when I started this talk with Paula, I said, even if I can reach one person, I have reached so many, and that continue to grow, that will reach out and say thank you, because I'm not afraid to talk about it and share everything. I've written a book. I discuss it very openly with people, and it's made other people come out and talk about it. So if you have seasonal depression, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people have it, but don't keep yourself isolated. Get out there, talk, reach out. I'm here. You can either find me on a webpage, not a webpage, I'm sorry. I have a private Facebook group, but you still can message me on that. And then usually I'll just add somebody. I keep it private because of personal reasons. People can also email me, reach out via text. I don't care, because I know for a fact that I can be an ear, but I also, if needed, can connect you with resources, which since I've started this, I have really opened a lot of windows to a lot of resources as well. So this is a short, sweet one today. I just kind of wanted to share what was going on, you know, being open-minded with seasonal depression, which is, you know, upon us now, taking good care of yourself first. And then, you know, I'm going to be asking that we share some clips of the guests that came on last year during this time. I started with Soul, Lori, actually Jen from Jasper Forest, and Kara. And they have a really lot of good insights. They have, like, you know, teas, they have meditation, they have breathing exercises. Actually, before I came here, I did, Jen has the oxygen bar, and I just sat and we chilled and just talked. And just, you know, always remember, you're not alone. I don't care if you're like 5 struggling or 105. You're not alone. And if more than ever, I find now people are starting to get out there and talk about it and don't want to feel isolated. And if you're feeling funky, again, feel free to get in touch with me. So before I close, I do want to let you know our next guest will be from Turning Point. She will be here in actually a few weeks. She's going to be discussing her history. She was struggling with alcoholism for years, and she is sober and actually runs a program with Turning Point. I am going to be having Scott, yep, my brain just went, boom, Scott Blair, and Angie for down to, they own the dispensary down to the Roots. They actually are going to discuss something which I find is very important. The misconception of marijuana being a gateway, when in fact, no, that's not the case. Because I did see an article that came out the other day where they were, somebody, I don't remember the group, but they shared a post regarding how marijuana can, you know, be a gateway. People need to be educated, because I know hands down, I mean, to each his own, people can choose what they want, but I know hands down many, I would almost say 75% people would prefer to do more natural being edibles, flower, vapes, or what have you. It's not that I'm condoning that, but what I am saying is educate yourself before you pass judgment. That's a good way, because a lot of people do use edibles for anxiety, sleeping, pain, and what have you, way before you know, narcotics or medication, because that's not good for your body, for one thing. So not going to preach that. And then we do have a couple other guests. We are going to have Morgan and Angie coming back. And my friend Jen is actually, I think I said that in the beginning, but she's actually going to be coming in at least once a month now to discuss some positive things for what you can do for your body and to get you through these nasty cold winter months. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. And again, talk with Paula. I am not a clinician. I'm just real, and just always remember you're not alone, and feel free to reach out to me anytime and join our group that we're going to be starting to do, you know, a soup kitchen, just a bunch of us getting together. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Have a good day.